All right, Andy, thank you very much. We kick off our election coverage in Lafayette, which has a majority of contested races for City Council. News 18's Isabella Caruso joins us live from Lafayette Fire Station number 5, which is a polling location. Voting has just begun. Isabella, you have all the information voters need about Lafayette City Council.
Yeah, voting just began here at Lafayette Fire Station number 5. They just opened these doors probably about 2 minutes ago, and voters are in there right now casting their votes for Lafayette City Council. There's 9 members on City Council that you will be voting for. There's 6 districts of City Council, and there's 1 member that represents each one. And then there are also 3 at-large members. Now, some of the duties of City Council is they have the power to pass ordinances and also over the salaries of elected officials and also members of police and fire departments here in Lafayette. Now, the group also can reduce items in our city's budget. They cannot increase any items in our city's budget. So each City Council member focuses on a few platforms, whether that be health, safety, parks, drainage, and the list can go on and on. So here are some of the candidates. Here's all the candidates that are running this year for Lafayette City Council. In District 1, we have incumbent Jerry Reynolds. He's a Republican, and going up against him is Cara Boyles, a Democrat. Over in District 2, we have Mary Fisher, a Republican, going up against incumbent Ron Campbell, a Democrat. And in District 4, we have Republican Oscar Alvarez, who is going against incumbent Lauren Alsmeyer, Democrat. District 6, we have Perry J. Barbie, a Republican, going against incumbent Bob Downing, who is a Democrat. And then there are 5 at-large members running, and remember there are 3 seats in the at-large section. So we have Todd Wilkins, who is the only Republican running for an at-large City Council member. We have incumbent Kevin Klinker, incumbent Lon Heidi, incumbent Nancy Nargi, and also P. Russell Bridges II, and all 4 of those candidates are Democrats. And over in our non-contested races for City Council, we have District 3, Perry Brown is a Democrat, and District 5, Melissa Williamson, also a Democrat, and they are both incumbents. And additional non-contested races in Lafayette include City Clerk and also Mayor. Cindy Murray, a Democrat, is running for re-election of City Clerk, and Lafayette Mayor Tony Rzorsky also running for re-election. So not a contested race there, but over on the west side, a different story. West Lafayette Mayor race is contested this year. I'm going to hand it over to News 18's Samantha Tiki, and she has all the information on that race. Hey, Sam.
That's right. Good morning. Now, I'm at Purdue Memorial Union, and I've started seeing people kind of filter in this as they open the poll location here. The West Lafayette mayoral race, Dennis actually some competition. The Republican incumbent has been West Lafayette's mayor since 2008. Mayor Dennis wants to focus on continuing growth and community partnerships like the one with Purdue and automobile manufacturer Saab. Dennis told News 18 he is ready for another term, and he says he yearns for the opportunity to make West Lafayette better and better. His opponent is independent candidate Zachary Bale. A big part of Bale's campaign is a focus on more convenience and government transparency. He wants the public to be able to have access to all public documents online. Now, the race for mayor isn't the only contested item on the ticket. All but one of the races for West Lafayette City Council are contested. It has 9 elected council members. The city is actually divided into 6 districts with 1 council member elected from each district. 3 council members are elected at large. Now let's get to those candidates. In District 1, incumbent Democrat Nick DeBoer is running against Republican Sidney Rivera. In District 2, incumbent Democrat Peter Bunder faces Republican Jonathan Livermore. Incumbent Republican Jonathan Jones is up against Democrat Shannon Kang in District 3. As we've reported, the candidates in this district are Purdue University students. Now, there's no incumbent running in District 5 in this race. Republican John Myers is squaring off with Democratic candidate Kathy Parker. Then there's the at-large candidates. In this race are incumbent Democrats David Sanders and Gerald Thomas. There's also incumbent Republican Steve Dietrich. Democrat James Blanco is running to possibly unseat one of the 3 I just mentioned. Now, you may have noticed I didn't mention District 4. That's because the candidate is running unopposed in that election. Now, before I send it back to Trevor, here's a list of a few voting locations here in Tippecanoe County. In Dayton, voters can cast a ballot at Dayton United Methodist. In Lafayette, you can go to Lafayette City Hall, or you can go to the Outpost Catering in Lafayette. In West Lafayette, you can vote at City Hall as well. That's formerly known as Happy Hollow Elementary. You can also vote at Fire Station number 3 on Calbera Road. Now, you can also vote right here at the Memorial Union. It's one of the many voting locations here in Tippecanoe County. It's also important to remember that we polling. That means no matter what precinct you belong to, and vote as long as you're of Tippecanoe County. Now, we have other locations in Tippecanoe County on our website, uli.com. Live in West Lafayette, Samantha Tiki.
Sam, Isabella, thank you very much. And while there are no statewide elections on the ballot today, this morning many communities will vote for their mayor. News 18 has featured these races over the past few weeks. In addition to West Lafayette, Monticello will vote on its mayor today. Republican Matthew McKean is a graduate of Twin Lakes High School. Democrat Kathy Gross has lived in the community for 60 years. McKean wants to revitalize parts of the city's downtown. Gross hopes to work on local ordinances if elected. Incumbent Mayor Ken Houston will not be running. In Delphi, Republican Dale Stewart is challenging independent incumbent Shane Evans for the role. Evans was first elected into his term as mayor in 2015. Stewart hopes to bring new perspective with his background as a private investigator. Evans wants to continue the momentum he has built from his first term. Both want to improve housing stock in the city. Lastly, in Logansport, Republican Chris Martin is challenging incumbent Democrat Dave Kitchell. Both are natives to the city. Kitchell has been focused on revitalizing the mall and adding a hotel to the east end of the city. If reelected, he says he will now focus on housing. Martin wants more investments in the north, south, and west ends of Logansport. He says most of the infrastructure has been focused on the east side. You can find all of our features on the races on WLFI.com. And one of the biggest topics people continue to be concerned about is election security. Last month, Tippecanoe County officials held its public test for voting machines. The equipment vendor was there to reassure voters of the machine's security. Those who submitted absentee ballots were casted on paper. It will be counted through a scanning mechanism. If you vote in person today, you will be using one of the electronic machines. Election officials assure voters that the machines are secure from any potential data breaches. And our coverage of today's election is just now beginning. You can stay up to date as the polls close by downloading our WLFI app. News 18 will send out the newest information and we'll have all of today's results online. It is 6:09. The destination